In today's video, let's talk about how to stop topping your 3-wood off the ground. Hey guys, it's Michael. Welcome back to another video. And before we get into it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a lot and it allows you to not miss another one of my videos. I don't know if there's a more demoralizing feeling in golf than striping a drive down the middle of the fairway and getting up to your shot into a par 5. You got your 3-wood, you're like, man, I can get there in 2, and then just cold topping it 4 feet in front of you. It's really frustrating, and I'm sure it's happened to a lot of you guys. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this. So today we're gonna go over how to hit your 3-wood off the ground and eliminate this shot from your bag. So first we have to understand what the 3-wood is and the type of swing we're going to make at the ball to have the best success. Now, if we compare the 3-wood to every other club in our bag, it looks most similar to your driver. It's got a big head, big face, and it almost looks like a mini driver, right? But when we're hitting it off the ground, we're actually going to switch the way we think about it and almost think about it as a long iron. One of the reasons why a lot of people top is they get up to the ball and they're treating it like a driver, right? So they're leaning back, lifting up, trying to get this ball up in the air. But what happens when you lean back is this club is going to raise up and you're going to miss it, grazing the top of the golf ball and it landing right about here. So you have to think about it as an iron. So now keep that in mind as we go into a couple of things to help you hit the 3-wood off the ground. First, we have to talk about your ball position. It's super important because every single one of our clubs in our bag is a different length, including the 3-wood. Again, it's one of the longer clubs in our bag, like the driver, slightly shorter, but we're hitting it off the ground, right? So we're not going to be hitting up on it. We're actually going to be hitting down. Ideally, we'd hit the ball first, make a slight divot afterwards, and that's how we're going to get the best contact. So we need to make sure we have the best ball position for that. I see a lot of people get up to a 3-wood and they place it off their front toe like this, almost like a driver. Again, they lean back. You have zero chance of making good contact with this because the low point of the 3-wood is going to be much more towards the center of your stance than the front. Let me say that again. Because we're hitting this like an iron, we're hitting down, we don't want to place it as far forward as we might think. Now, if you're hitting it off a tee, you might be able to get away with it a little bit. But when you're hitting a 3-wood off the ground, I want you to think of it as 2/3 of the way to our front heel. If we're playing the driver, one ball off our front heel here, we want to play the 3-wood probably 3 balls inside our heel, like that. And it might feel like, wow, this feels pretty center of my stance. But if we think about it, the low point of our swing is going to be right about here. It's not going to be up here because we're actually going to already be coming up and making contact. If we want to make good contact here, we need to make sure the ball position is good. So about 3 balls inside your front heel. Might feel a little bit weird, but just trust me on this. Next, when we swing, you really need to make sure your chest stays down over the ball. So, again, you could have good ball position, but you can still lean back, right, and not have success. When you're coming down through the ball, I want you to take the 3-wood and put it into your sternum like this. Make a swing here, and I want you to come down through the ball, keeping your chest down over the ball. And you notice here, the head of the 3-wood is down towards the ball. If I were to lean back, this thing's all the way up here, we have no success. We come here, chest stays down, over the ball, good ball position. Now we're in business, right? Make a couple of swings now, keeping your chest down, and I want you to almost try to take a divot off the ground as a practice swing, or at least brush the grass. It's gonna feel weird because it's such a big club, but we really do need to at least graze the grass here to make good contact. So take a couple swings. You'll notice right away, if you pull up, you're gonna miss the grass. Keep that chest down. There you go. Just like that, chest stays down over the golf ball, and that is going to allow us to get much better contact here. Really trust your body to stay down over the ball. Make a little divot, don't be afraid, especially with the 3-wood. Now, I don't want you to get up here and say, okay, I'm gonna make a divot, Michael, no matter what, and come here and just throw that club into the ground. That's not a golf swing, and you know that, all right? Don't try to be smart with me. Trust the turn, trust your chest, and trust the ball position. for you to have success with the 3-wood here. So we'll come here, have good ball position, right? Keeping that chest down, coming on through. So we covered ball position, but now we need to talk about the distance in which, how far away you're standing from the ball. This can cause a lot of different problems. If you're reaching for the ball, one, you could be this could cause a ton of different problems. If you're standing too far away, now all of a sudden you're reaching for the ball and you're more susceptible to topping it. If you're too close, you can't get a good enough turn and you actually might chunk it from here. So you need to make sure you're standing the proper distance away with your 3-wood, especially off the ground. So a couple different ways you can do this. I'll go over both. First way, and this works for all your clubs, stand straight up, hold the club out in front of you like this. Hinge at the waist, push that waist back till the club hits the ground. Now soften the knees and keep that position, shimmy until that club is behind the ball. That'll get you a perfect distance away. Now to double check this method, or you can use this separately, is set up to the ball where you think is correct. Let your trail hand, for me it's my right hand, dangle straight down. If that is meeting exactly where below my front hand here on my grip, then we're in business. If we're too far away and I'm dangling, you see, pretty obvious, right? You gotta move forward. Now I don't want you to just reach forward for it. Slide your body forward until you're gripping it correctly. This will ensure that you're the proper distance away from the ball, which is super important with the 3-wood. With the proper distance now, we can make so much better contact, and at least you'll give yourself a better chance at making a good swing with it off the fairway. Yes, hitting your 3-wood off the ground is a hard shot, but if you implement these 3 tips that I gave you, I guarantee that you'll see a little bit of success. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And I'll see you guys out here real soon.